Alright, hi, hello, up top. I just want to let you know I have the song Hot to Go, but like the fart remix stuck in my head. So, all day I've been singing T-O-O-T. Fart, fart, fart. Okay, anyways. Today we're going to be reading Reddit stories. I don't have a type of Reddit story today. It's just going to be plain old Reddit stories that I have found on my For You type page thing, whatever. Okay. Finally meeting my 29 male online girlfriend, 29 female. After years of talking, it's not going well. I'll add a short TLDR after both the sections. Context. A couple years ago, I, 29 male, met a girl, 29 female, through an online circle. We talked frequently, and it was always a great time. She's very passionate about a lot of the same things I am, and is very career-driven, which is something I'm looking for. Early last year, she opened up about having feelings for me, which I was receptive to. We started spending more time online together, and eventually it got to the point where she would be telling her coworkers and family members about her boyfriend. This doesn't bother me too much. I'm very interested, but for me, I had to meet her to seal the deal. Fast forward to Christmas, and my gift to her was going to be a trip up to meet her, USA to Canada. Trip was very expensive but worth it. We had talked about me going to meet her a few times, thought it was better that way as she has a lot of anxiety, very important for later, and health issues that would make it much harder for her, especially in this current political climate. Well, that trip happened this weekend. I'm currently typing this out from my hotel room, which I've spent the vast majority of my time here alone in. Context. TLDR, met a girl online, developed feelings, great match for each other. She lives in Canada and me, the US. For Christmas, I set up a trip to come see her. She has terrible anxiety issues. The main issue. The trip to see her started off how I expected. I don't know this city well. It's a country I've only been to a few times, and I was nervous myself. Took a 40-minute Uber to my hotel and expected by the time I got there that she would have worked out her nerves and be ready to meet me. Unfortunately, her anxiety was extra bad, and it took her another 2 hours to work up the courage to drive 5 minutes to come see me. This didn't bother me at the time. I knew it would be rough, and I'm a patient dude for the most part. We met, she was shaking and bawling her eyes out, but overall it was great. Some hugs, and we drove to her place. She lives with her brother, so I was able to meet him, and we chilled for her a little while. Her anxiety was still through the roof though, so we didn't actually do much for the next couple of hours. She wanted to drive around and show me some stuff, but couldn't. Eventually she decided I should probably Uber back instead of having her drive me. Next morning I was up extra early. She usually works nights, so I figured she wouldn't be up for a bit. Not knowing the city, I chose to stay in and wait till she was awake. 4 hours later she messages me, we talk for a bit, and she tells me she's not quite ready to see me as the nerves are still there. That's fine. I found a drugstore in walking distance. I can pick up some stuff and get us some food at a local spot before meeting up. Fast forward about 2 hours later, and I finally get back to her place. She doesn't eat anything and tells me her brother, her, and myself are going to go to get together and hang out with a bunch of their friends. That's cool. I asked her how long we'll be there, and she said a few hours. We leave, it's about an hour drive. Every one of her friends was great, super welcoming, and she seemed really happy to introduce me as her boyfriend. Little party lasts a good portion of the night. We don't talk much as I'm usually getting bounded by her friends, or she's playing a game or something. It's around 10 when we go to leave. Still plenty of night left, I figured. She tends to be up till 3 or 4 in the morning, so I was pretty pumped to get to spend the rest of the night together. However, as we get in the car, she asks her brother if it's cool that she takes me to the hotel before they go home. He says yeah, and I just sit in shock the whole way back that she's too drained to spend a couple hours of quality time with her boyfriend she just met. At this point, it's all starting to catch up to me, and I'm feeling pretty bad. I get back to the hotel room, and I'm just confused by the whole trip. I'm alone in a hotel room in a country I don't know with my girlfriend a few minutes away, not knowing what to do. What the hell is going on? I fear messaging her about it is going to make her anxiety worse, but at this point I don't know what to do. I'm set to meet her mom in the evening for dinner, and at this point I feel like I've met everyone except for my girlfriend. So I message her that. She's very apologetic, saying her anxiety is through the roof still, and she wanted to make this trip worth it for me, but she's just drained. She makes an effort to let me know that she's still very interested in everything, but she knows if we're alone together that nothing would happen because she's just too nervous. She hasn't been in a relationship for a couple of years, so it's hard for her. I tell her I don't even want to try anything intimate if that's what she fears. I've barely hugged her this trip, and there's a lot more steps in that process before anything like that could happen. I just want to spend some quality time together. She said tomorrow after I meet her mom there probably will be time. All that said, today is my last day here. I leave early tomorrow morning on a flight. I feel like this whole thing has been a waste, and I'm just so confused. I wanted to spend quality time with her, not sit in a hotel room alone for most of my trip. In my mind, she would want to be with me every waking moment of this trip. Our time is so short, we've talked about it for ages like that was going to be the case. I don't know if the relationship can last after this. Yeah, I have some opinions. I'm one to be very, like, I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like if someone's coming up to visit you and spending all this time, like, all this money, all this time to go see you, I feel like you should be together most of the time. Like, why wouldn't you be together most of the time? I don't know. Even me, I have really bad anxiety, depression, a lot of different stuff. I have a dictionary of, I have a novel worth of mental issues. But I think if someone really put in that effort for me, someone that I considered my boyfriend, I wouldn't like have him stay alone at a hotel. I'd be like, yeah, we'll stay here where I live, but you can stay in another, if I needed that space, I'd be like, you can chill here, I'm gonna go take a walk or something, you know? I want to give it the benefit of the doubt because I understand anxiety, and I probably would be really anxious in that situation. But I think once it was voiced to me that this person was not having a good time, then I would like work through it for that other person. Because if you really care about someone, you need to work through that anxiety a little bit. I say this, and then I'm like, I say this, but I am awful in person. And I'm really anxious when it comes to meeting people online. Look, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, though, because anxiety can be that bad. I don't think that her feelings aren't valid or that she doesn't have feelings. A lot of the comments were saying that, like, either her feelings were shallow or she doesn't have feelings or whatever. I mean, that's totally not true. She probably does have feelings. She probably does care for this person a lot. The comments are also saying she probably wasn't ready for a relationship, and I can see that. I can also see her just needing more time. I'm curious how much he's voiced that this upsets him. Like, I know he said that he mentioned it once, but like, he also said that he didn't say anything to her because he didn't want her anxiety worse. Where it's like, okay, if you have an issue, you need to voice that. I'm hoping in this next update, she's gonna figure out that she did something wrong and they're gonna end up fine, but that's the best case scenario. Oh, also, when I first read the title of the story, I really thought it was gonna be like a catfish type thing. But I guess not. I guess there's no catfishes here. NCH. All right, we have an update. We have an update. Yesterday morning, I woke up, made the original post, and waited nervously for her to wake up. It once again took a couple of hours. A little after noon, she finally messaged me. She said we had dinner in the later afternoon with her mother, and I could just Uber over to her place whenever. A few of you suggested I should just call off the dinner plans, but I decided to stick it through. I went up to her place shortly after that, and we spent some time watching things. She was having a better day, so we sat close, and while we didn't do anything, brother was in the small house. It was some quality time I had been looking for. Dinner with her mother was great. We connected well, and she seemed to be genuinely excited for me and her daughter. We left with a hug from her mom and went back to her place. It was a lot more of the same thing as before, so while it wasn't alone time with her, it did feel more one-on-one, and we had a good time. Was it exactly what I was expecting on the last day of this trip? Not really, but was it nice? Definitely. It was getting late, and I was expecting her to want me to Uber back, but she drove me herself. She helped me confirm my packing for the flight early this morning, and we ended with a kiss. We got to texting a bit, and we realized she hadn't taken a photo of us for a frame that she'd bought. I was pretty sad that we hadn't, and the few pictures of us from that weekend didn't really fit the vibe she was going for. I mentioned that I should just Uber back. 10 minutes later, waiting for a response, she tells me to come down. Anxiety be damned, she did drive back just for the photo and another goodbye kiss. So overall, it wasn't a perfect weekend, but I'm going to stay cautiously optimistic. I think it was a mistake to not make the trip longer, and I think that would have helped even more. We'll see how things go when she has to decide if she wants to make the solo trip down here for an event closer to the summer. To clear some things up, she's on medication and goes to a therapist, though her current therapist is very new to her. Normally, I wouldn't be into a long-distance relationship, but our likes and interests align so well, and it's something I've struggled to find around me back home. My last relationship was decently long and taught me that was something I valued a lot. Thanks for all the comments on my other post. I imagine interest for another update will wane by the time the next trip happens in about 2 months, but that is the time where things will really be make or break. TLDR, blah, blah, blah. Thanks again. So, yeah, okay, that went great. This girl, I feel like, just has so much anxiety, and I think with relationships and stuff, sometimes it can be like, it can feel so important that it's like you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you can't make it as perfect as you think it should be or that you want it to be. It's like going on stage or something. It's literally, to a degree, like going on stage or like having stage fright, because to a degree, like, you are putting on a bit of an act when you meet someone. I mean, you shouldn't as much with partners, but if you're meeting your partner for the first time, like, I can see that. And I'm glad that he's giving her more of a chance, because I think that they'd be cute, especially if they seem cute. She literally went back for the photo, and she took anxiety by, like, the horns and went for it, and I really appreciate that. So, love her, love them, hope they end up together forever. Okay. So this is our Ask Gay Bros. Just had gay sex for the first time, thought I was straight. In retrospect, I'm an idiot. Also, sorry if this is long for background. I'm a 26-year-old guy and always saw myself as straight, really. I haven't had a girlfriend in a couple of years, and looking back, I honestly don't think I was ever properly attracted to a woman. How a straight guy should be. So I met this guy at my work around 3 months ago. I'm a bartender and he's a regular. He works at a law firm across the street. I thought he was a bit uptight at first. He came in most days after his shift and got either a Diet Coke or a vodka cranberry. I'm guessing on particular hard days. He always wore a suit when he came in. I noticed how he was very friendly to the other staff, but never really looked me in the eyes and didn't engage in small talk with me. I guess he didn't like me very much, but he always tipped well. Anyway, we host themed nights at our bar sometimes where drinks are half off. It gets a bit crazy. We had one of these last month. To my surprise, he showed up with some guy. He nodded to me when he arrived, but that was it. Later that night, I saw him and this guy kiss by the bathroom. So I thought, so he's gay. Cool, but I couldn't stop thinking about it for some reason. He didn't know I saw him. After that, he kept coming in. No guy anymore, just by himself. He came out of his shell a bit. He started talking a bit more and cracking jokes. I guess I was intimidated by him at first, but really he's just so awkward and socially anxious, I guess. I always looked forward to seeing him. Anyway, 2 weeks ago now, he came in on a Friday night. He never usually got drunk, but I guess he let loose. He had quite a bit to drink and was there until after closing. I let him stay at the bar. After my shift on Friday, I always have a couple drinks, and we got to talking. We got on really well, and it turns out he's just a complete nerd. He wears these huge glasses that he needs but hides from everyone, and has a cartoon cat tattoo that he has to hide at work on his arm. Eventually I got pretty drunk and I had to ask if the guy I saw him with was his boyfriend. He seemed pretty taken aback, but he said no. They were just gonna date, and that guy turned out to be a dick. He seemed embarrassed and I was worried he thought I was homophobic or something. I told him that I was just wondering and that I was thinking about it a lot. I don't really know what came over me, but after that I asked him if he wanted to go to the cinema with me that week. He seemed very surprised and he said yes. At this point I was in denial. Oh no. Oh, this is so cute, but like, okay. At this point, I was in denial. I really thought I was desperate to go to the cinema and spend time with this guy as bros. And we exchanged numbers. The cinema trip would... Why am I wearing the update hat? Imagine just, like, being interested in a guy, thinking you're going on a date, and he's like, we're just going as bros, you know? Like, we're bros. Imagine this guy asking you if you have a boyfriend. You saying no, so you're saying, yeah, I'm single. You're asking me if I have a boyfriend, are you interested that way? And then him still thinking it's either going as bro. My God. At this point, I was in denial. I really thought I was desperate to go to the cinema and spend time with this guy as bros. We exchanged numbers. The cinema trip was great, and we had dinner after. We went out every night together that week, and I was really starting to have feelings that were way too strong for me to think about. Last week, after we came back from an arcade, he invited me back to his house to watch some films. We actually did watch a film, surprisingly. Lego Batman, his choice. After the film, we were both in the kitchen because I wanted to watch him make popcorn. I really just wanted to keep talking to him, really. In the kitchen, he ended up kissing me by the romantic light of the microwave. I kissed him back, of course. I was so happy I didn't even stop to remember that I've been a heterosexual man for the last 26 years. We kissed in the kitchen for a while, and I can't even describe it. I didn't know just kissing could be like that. Eventually, the popcorn he was making stopped and was burning really bad. He threw the bag into the sink to stop the smoke because who cares about popcorn anymore? We had sex that night in his real-life bed. He put on YouTube music, and the ads didn't even bother me. That's romance. YouTube ads not bothering you, that's romance. I know how gay sex works, of course, and I had thought about it before, but not in great detail, but honestly, it all just came, lol, very naturally. It was so good, and it felt really right. I actually gave a blowjob for the first time ever, and no, I don't think I'll win any medals anytime soon, but I've never been more turned on in my life. We fell asleep really late, and he didn't kick me out of the bed, which is good. The next morning, I didn't know what the etiquette was. Do I leave? Do I sneak out? Luckily, he answered that for me and dragged me back into bed for another hour. We spent the day together, just lounging around his house. Just now, we would kiss sometimes, and I saw him naked, so that's basically perfect. I'm writing here because this is all very exciting for me, but also very new. My friends are all straight men, all cool guys, but I'm nervous to tell anyone. Me and him have spent all week together, and I can see this going somewhere special. At least I hope it does. I'm excited for myself. I was very confused for a long time. I thought I wasn't the relationship type and that sex and stuff was overrated. Now I know that's not the case. Alright, so the first comment, which is by deleted, I guess. Awesome story, bro. Congrats, and all I can say is follow your heart and your instincts. OP says thank you. Someone says, don't suppress your feelings like I did for 40 plus years. I regret it so bad. OP says, I'm happy you're being yourself now and that life is happy now. Someone says, sex between guys is the best. Someone says, it's incredibly natural, primal, and seated in our DNA. Sex between men, as you can see from the bodies, are perfectly matched. The penis and the anus work perfectly together. The personality is more aligned, and the desires and the understanding is coexistent. Someone goes, exactly correct, so fulfilling. The same guy that mentioned the natural, sex between men is natural, whatever, says thank you. On a different social platform, I'm an advocate for cock and cum love, enabling and allowing so many men to enjoy and indulge without questions of gay, bin, or otherwise. We celebrate how much we love cock, cum, and how it wants us to get. I need to see if this guy updated. Wait, I need to see if this guy updated. Oh, please don't say OP. Oh, fuck. OP is a deleted account. So there's no update. We get to suffer together not knowing how that went after. I want to believe, this is my headcanon for these two. I want to believe that they are gay married right now. They're still together. Business guy sounds like Jumanhan. Look, I love the guy that he was talking about, and it's probably because the way he described this guy was so, like, enticing, almost. And maybe not enticing, that's the word, but, like, it was so endearing the way that he talked about this guy. It almost made me like, oh, he's cute. I like that, you know? All right. I wish the best for them. I am going to get going for now. I want to make this episode like a feel-good episode, because both those stories were kind of like feel-good and nice. But a lot of the posts I'm finding right away are pretty grim. So I'm going to need to like actually plan out what stories I'm going to read if I'm going to read feel-good stories. Okay? So that was the video. I will see you guys ASAP. Because I'm going to try and make these as soon as possible rather than once a week or once every fucking month like I've been doing recently. I'm just going to do these when I edit one. I'm going to instantly record the next one and something like that. You know, I'm just going to try and post more often. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Comment, like, subscribe. Goodbye. If you see this, comment your favorite color in the comment section below.